Y'all, one of my favorite memories when I was a kid playing Wizard101, when your boy was a young wizhead, was running up tournaments and buying my first commander robe. This stitch is honestly iconic. This is something that a lot of people, especially if they're old school players, they probably fondly remember actually doing PvP for this. But today we're going to be talking about what Wizard101 did in their most recent update after retiring this iconic robe. So right now, this is live realm, meaning test realm has gone all the way up. The first version, I guess, of the summer update is already live. I assume there's going to be hot fixes that add a few more things. But one of the big things that they did this time was they added a new, I guess, category to this vendor where you could actually get gear from doing PvP. If you click on redeem arena tickets, you could actually get a new set that they've added specifically for this, I guess, new season of PvP that uses the currency from, you know, the 5th age of PvP. Now, the pricing is pretty serious. Like 2,500 tickets is going to take you a lot of games, but they actually brought back the iconic looks, right? I think they added some, you know, stars and moons to it, which is whatever. I think they're trying to retain the, you know, the rarity of the original set. But the hat is 2,500 tickets. The robe is the full 6,000 tickets. If you just run up a lot of games, you're actually capped at 6,000 tickets if, let's say, you never end up spending your tickets on anything, which right now, the only reason you'd really spend tickets is to craft TCs. And frankly, if you're one of those schools that uses TCs that aren't really arena ticket craftable, or at least you don't use too many of them, you're gonna end up with a lot of tickets if you PvP regularly. The robe is the maximum amount of tickets you could possibly spend, 6,000, and the boot is 4,000. So I did something that probably is gonna expose me as the ultimate wizhead. I got 7 wizards, almost all of them got 6K tickets, so I bought the full set and put it on one character. This is what the full stitch looks like. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, this is probably one of my favorite stitches that they've ever added into the game, and it really opens up the conversation of yet another reason to do PvP. While I did want to make this video just to show off of this, you know, the stitch, because I feel like this is very, you know, iconic. A lot of people, especially in the earlier stages of the game, they grinded for this gear because this was, you know, their main stitch. I think when they first launched, I guess, the ticket vendor in, you know, the arena, the only thing that I think a lot of people really wanted were these really cool decks. I feel like their wand stitches, they look really cool. I don't think most people really enjoyed the look of the actual main, you know, knights set, the warlord set. Let's take the knight's armor, right? Does it look good? Yeah, but honestly, unless you're really gonna go out of your way to get the warlord one with the cape, I feel like none of them look that good. And getting the warlord, yeah, you can get the reagents very easily, but getting the rank is absolutely ridiculous. So the coolest pieces of gear, I guess I would incentivize you to do PvP, are so hard to get that I'm almost not sure they even count as real incentives. So to me, other than the wand, that, you know, the wand stitch that we've had in the game, this is really the first big incentive to do PvP, especially if you're a fan of this set. Now, if I had to speculate, I do think there's going to be even more rewards incoming, because I think the 6,000 tickets that, you know, that you need to spend on this, it's not really that easy for someone that's just starting off to do it, which is why I think they're going to start connecting this with tournaments. I don't think it's a coincidence that they've been talking about revamping the tournament system, and it looks like they've added a few changes, although not all of them. So they added this thing where you need tourney tokens in order to participate, I guess, but they haven't really added any tournaments that require these tokens. Right now, they haven't really revamped this yet, and it looks like the same reward list tournaments that we've had all of 5th age, which nobody really likes. But what I think it's going to end up happening is there's going to be ways to get these tournament tokens, probably quite passively, like Decathlon and other things where, you know, you redeem tokens to participate for a limited amount of time. I think that that's going to be the system that they do with this. And then for really, really high reward tournaments, it's probably going to cost maybe more than a token. Maybe, you know, there'll be rank restrictions on some of these. Maybe there'll be special rule sets. What I think Wiz is trying to do by bringing back tried and tested cosmetics with this new tournament system, I think they're trying to create a better economy around PvP so that people actually have a reason to do it. And I think what everyone can get behind, this isn't a competitive advantage if you don't PvP, because obviously PvP is not for everyone. This is obviously, I'm biased. This is my favorite game mode. I love it. I've been involved in it for a while. But for people that find it intimidating or unnecessary, they don't have to do it. All they're going to miss out on are cosmetics that, I mean, they look cool. I think with the combination of the battle pass rewards that you get literally for free, as in you don't have to buy this, you just have to PvP to unlock rewards like double pet XP elixirs. With this and what they're trying to do with tournaments and tickets and cosmetics, I feel like maybe we're getting to the point where more people will want to PvP. And it also looks like they're adding gear that you don't have to raid for, that does give shads and even competitive stats compared to raid gear without actually doing anything like paying crowns or doing raids. They're adding accessible gear as well for people that want to fill in spots of their gear from not raiding. So there's more reasons to PvP, a little bit more accessibility. These are all really, really good things. But while that does excite me, I think there's a couple of things that really hold back PvP participation. And I think that Wiz really needs to do those in an update as well. For me, a big pet peeve is like when one school has like a broken mechanic that they can literally abuse. Right now, death with drains is that broken mechanic. Drains are like a legacy thing. Like they should be balanced, but they're not. I'm not saying balance it for the entire game. I'm just saying for PvP, drains need to be within the realm of reason. This is not a controversial take. And it's the same with PvE, right? If you've gone against someone that only stacks buffs, right? Not just a single fire blade, but their entire side deck is just blades, traps, and they just spam and don't do anything else. Aggravating things like that, and also what I still believe is way too punishing of an elo system when you lose to someone slightly lower ranked than you. Those types of things do hold back participation. Why is that? Because yeah, you could spend a lot of time PvPing, but if you don't feel like your time is rewarded because of things like, you know, losing on account of the school you're going against and not really anything you did, or losing way too much time on one loss versus a bunch of wins, these are psychological things that will make you not want to PvP. If they're really trying to curate this new economy around it, great. I love that. I think PvP has been missing that for a while. But I think if they're really serious about that, I want to see two things that, in my opinion, need to be done. One, I think they need to add update windows specifically for PvP. I'm not saying change any other part of the game, but when there's like balancing issues, I think they need to be a little bit more agile when it comes to experimenting with meta. Right? If a meta just becomes about buff stacking, I don't see why one season they can't just turn off some of the extra buffs that people are just spamming. I don't think it should be like a crazy ask for just one season to see like how banning triple buffs from PvP could work. For just one season, maybe we could see what the game would look like if every death spell that was a drain and a utility didn't also drain. Meaning, right? Like, let's say that you have a spell that's spellamented, right? But it's, you know, the base version is a drain. Maybe experiment with what the game would look like just for one season if Ghoul, for example, gambited a shield for a blade but wasn't a drain, right? Small little things like that, I think it would give them a great idea of how the meta works. I think it would keep things a little bit, you know, it'll keep things a little bit more fast paced when it comes to, you know, stagnant meta, and it would make seasons feel different, which right now what we're getting is one season is a certain way. We have to wait 2 weeks into the next season for them to do anything, like for example the Myth Banshee ban that they did this season 2 weeks in, and then everything else that's broken we have to yet again wait for 3 months. That is like a toxic cycle that I really think that PvP needs to not have. So TLDR, I think they're adding extremely good reasons to PvP, and that makes me, you know, through the roof happy. But there are some things that I think hold it back that I really wish that they would do more against. Maybe that's just like an unfair ask, just to ask for more updates more frequently that line up with the seasons that are, you know, maybe more experimental. Maybe that would be bad for the game in some ways too. Maybe it would be too hard to keep up with. Right? There are problems with what I'm saying too. I acknowledge that, but I do think that that would be like my perfect scenario as we see them putting a little bit more energy into making this new environment for PvP. Do you guys think that PvP is changing with these cosmetics coming back, tournaments coming back? Are you guys excited? Let me know what you guys think of the fact that the old commander robe is retired, but this is coming back to replace it. A lot of y'all didn't know about this, I think, because a lot of people were surprised about this in my stream chat. So all I did was inform y'all that there's yet another reason to PvP. You know what? I've done my job, and I'd love to hear y'all's opinions on everything we talked about. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and if somebody hasn't told your ass today they doing something wrong, I look forward to reading all of y'all's comments. Stay awesome, and yeah.